The Galactic Council had operated under the same principles for over 3 millennia. War was conducted through the arena, a sophisticated simulation where conflicts were resolved through strategic combat between representative champions. The bare rules were sacred, unchanging, and had prevented actual bloodshed across thousands of worlds. Ambassador Kethalar of the Zephyrian Empire adjusted his ceremonial robes as he reviewed the latest petition. These humans had recently achieved faster-than-light travel and were requesting membership in the Council. Their home system was strategically insignificant, their technology primitive by galactic standards, and their military appeared laughably weak. The Council would grant them membership, every species deserved representation, but they would rank among the lowest tiers, little more than a footnote in galactic politics. "Their champion has arrived," announced his aide, a nervous flutter in her voice. Kethalar's mandibles clicked in amusement. "One champion? Most species send a dozen candidates for the preliminary assessments." The human delegation entered the council chambers with an odd confidence. Their leader, a woman named Sarah Chen, carried herself like a seasoned warrior despite her species' lack of significant military achievements. Behind her walked a single individual, a man of average build with calloused hands and alert eyes. "Honored Council," Sarah began, her voice steady in the universal translator. "We present our champion, Marcus Rivera, for the arena trials." Kethalar studied the human male. No cybernetic enhancements, no visible weapons, no signs of genetic modification. "Your people understand that arena combat determines not just membership status but resource allocation, territorial rights, and diplomatic standing. One champion will face opponents from dozens of species." "We understand," Sarah replied simply. The first trial was against the hegemony's champion, a towering Krex warrior enhanced with combat stimulants and neural accelerators. The arena simulation materialized around them, a barren asteroid field where strategy and raw power would determine the victor. The Krex warrior moved with mechanical precision, plasma rifle charging as he calculated optimal firing solutions. Marcus did something unprecedented. He began dismantling his own equipment. The viewing chamber erupted in confused chittering and electronic whines as the human stripped components from his environmental suit, fashioned crude tools from debris, and started setting what appeared to be traps. The Krex warrior, following standard arena protocols, advanced methodically toward his opponent's last known position. Marcus had vanished. For 7 hours, the human played a ghost in the machine. He used the asteroid field's natural gravitational anomalies to mask his movements, turned the arena's environmental hazards into weapons, and gradually wore down the superior Krex warrior through psychological warfare. When the Krex finally fell, not to weapon fire but to accumulated stress fractures in his armor caused by manipulated micrometeor impacts, the council sat in stunned silence. "Irregular tactics," muttered Council Prime Velthar, but within the rules. The second trial paired Marcus against a synthetic intelligence collective, 7 networked drones that shared processing power and tactical data in real time. The arena shifted to an urban environment where superior numbers and coordination should have guaranteed victory. Marcus spent the first 2 hours observing. While the SI drones swept the city in perfect formation, he studied their communication patterns, identified their command hierarchies, and mapped their decision trees. Then he did something that broke 3,000 years of arena precedent. He surrendered. The drones, programmed for combat scenarios, had no protocol for accepting surrender. They paused, waiting for new instructions from their collective intelligence. In that moment of hesitation, Marcus struck. Not at the drones themselves, but at their communication relay hidden in a nearby building. Without shared processing, the individual units reverted to basic autonomous functions, becoming predictable and vulnerable. One by one, he dismantled them using their own tactical subroutines against them. By the 5th trial, word of the humans' unorthodox methods had spread throughout the galactic networks. Betting pools formed as ancient species wagered on whether this anomaly could continue. Marcus faced opponents who had studied his previous matches, adapted their strategies, and prepared counters for his unconventional approach. It didn't matter. Each time the human found new impossibilities to make possible. Against the hive-minded swarm, he isolated individual units and convinced them they were receiving false commands from their queen. Against the reality warping psychers, he used meditation techniques to compartmentalize his mind, hiding his true intentions in mental spaces they couldn't access. Against the probability-calculating mathematicians, he embraced pure chaos, making decisions so random that their predictive models collapsed. The final trial was against the current arena champion, Prime General Thaxilon of the Hegemony, who had held the title for 60 years. The battlefield was a classic scenario: two armies clashing across an open plain, testing pure military doctrine and leadership. Marcus looked at his assigned forces, a ragtag collection of basic units with standard equipment, then at Thaxilon's elite formations with their advanced weaponry and perfect discipline. The battle should have lasted minutes. Instead, Marcus ordered his entire army to retreat. Thaxilon pursued, confident in his overwhelming advantage. Marcus led him on a chase across the entire continental battlefield, always staying just ahead of destruction. For days, the pursuit continued as Thaxilon grew increasingly frustrated. His perfect formations began to stretch and falter. Supply lines extended beyond sustainability. Discipline cracked under exhaustion. On the seventh day, Marcus turned and fought a force half the size of his original army, exhausted and demoralized. The victory was decisive. In the aftermath, as the council chambers buzzed with heated debate, Kethlar approached the human delegation. "Your champion has won provisional membership, but his methods..." The ambassador struggled for words. "You have changed how we think about the arena itself." Sarah Chen smiled. "That's what humans do. We adapt, we improvise. We find solutions that others consider impossible." She paused, watching as various species representatives argued over new regulations that might contain such unpredictable tactics. "We don't just play the game, we evolve it." Within a year, arena combat had been revolutionized. Ancient tactics gave way to new strategies as every species began incorporating human-inspired flexibility into their doctrines. The rigid rules that had governed galactic conflict for millennia bent and shifted, becoming more dynamic and complex. Humanity had entered the galactic arena, and in typical human fashion, refused to accept that the game couldn't be improved. They didn't just change the rules overnight, they changed the very concept of what rules could be. The galaxy would never be the same.